What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself. Today is the return of Final Fantasy XI, and we have two songs: A Realm of Emptiness from the channel Naoshi Mizuta, and then after that we have a song called Distant Worlds. It says Chains of Promethea, Distant Worlds from the channel The Relay Sci-Fi, requested by Pepita. Well, I think today I learned where the Distant Worlds concert comes from. Okay. Well, this one, I've never seen this before. Usually I have that one certain thumbnail. This one just says Sword Songs, Final Fantasy XI Battle Collection. Yeah, Naoshi Mizuta is really sick. I've actually just heard, what was it? FF13? And I cover that on guitar. What was it? Full Speed Ahead. But I am a huge fan of their FF11 stuff. Anyways, let's do more. A Realm of Emptiness. No context on these. It's a strange thumbnail. I am super tired, by the way. I don't know if that'll affect anything, but it's been a long day. Sorry. This will wake me up. Very rarely do I experience like this higher energy FF11 stuff. A little bit, but not too much. Ooh, that kind of sounds like the prelude a little bit. Has a little bit of a Halloween sound. A little Nightmare Before Christmas-ish. The vocal synths remind me of The Legend of Dragon. Tempo. Da, da, da. A Realm of Emptiness. Well, I would have to imagine this place is very barren. Or post-apocalyptic. It looks kind of like a... It looks like we got teleported to whatever this is. I don't know if this is like an album art or if this is where this song plays. But the whole place looks very much like a boss battle setting to the T. It looks like an arena with spikes. I wonder what that is. Ding, dong. whatever it is it's being picked really hard, and it sounds like a plectrum that's pretty thick. Okay, so I'm fairly certain this is not my first FF11 battle theme, but at the top of my head, I can't think of which ones I've done by name. And I'm saying this because I've said that before, and someone has said, "No, you've heard 11 battle stuff before." I just can't recall at this exact moment. But typically, most of the time, when I hear FF11, it is kind of tranquil, kind of nice, and just calm, like world music, and or I should say, overworld music, just kind of moving around and stuff like that. So it's nice to hear this side as well, where it can get a little more impactful and a little more stabby. Boom, boom, dun, 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 dun. This to me, I don't know, when it comes to an MMO, it's like I have to just use my imagination. I now have RPG experience, not much, but some. The past 2 years, I went from never playing an RPG to playing almost nothing but RPGs for the past 2 years. So it's been an interesting experience, juggling menus and skills and skill trees and SP, MP, mana, party map, stuff like that. Like, that's all still kind of new to me. Super bosses. So all I can really go on of this one is whatever I've experienced in the footage I've seen for FF14, which is like getting a whole party together. I'm pretty sure, to my knowledge, you can't do anything in FF11 solo. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know if you can do any battles solo. I don't know if it's required to have at least one other person. I've always wanted to ask, but I never remember, so I remember this time. So can you do this or anything else in 11 as a complete solo single-player experience, just needing internet? Or I guess it's another question too, is the whole thing online, or is there any offline whatsoever? It is, an MMO, which is multiplayer in the title, so... Just curious, because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I don't know if I'm ever gonna play an MMO in my life. It just doesn't look appealing to me. So yeah, when I'm hearing this, I'm imagining just like one boss like in the center, just taking up the whole screen, and just like a whole bunch of party members doing their roles, I guess. Which I will admit, that looks fun. Like an MMO boss fight, that looks fun. Like having a squad together and all doing your own certain tasks, because I'm used to games where you're the one-man band, the Swiss Army knife. You are dodging, attacking, healing yourself, whatever. Or you're handling multiple party members by yourself. I don't think at this moment I can think of a time where I've ever been like any sort of, whether support or anything, like a designated role, me by myself, That sounds fun, in some weird way. Because you can kind of like just focus on that and do that, That sounds kind of interesting. Anyways, I think the key takeaway here for me is I've been very fortunate to hear more and more of Naoshi Mizuta, because I discover obviously composers on this channel, and sometimes I'll hear multiple times of their songs and don't even know it's them. And eventually, as time goes on, I start to familiarize myself with their sound and to just start liking their sound and to becoming favorites. Naoshi Mizuta has become one of my favorites on this channel. And the vast, variety, to give you an idea, when I heard I want to make sure that's Naoshi Mizuta. Give me 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure it is. FF13 2 full speed ahead. I'm pretty sure it's him. Yes. Okay. So full speed ahead from FF13 2. Fantastic game. Or actually, fantastic song. And the day after I heard it, I learned it on guitar. And I learned the entire song, actually. But I only uploaded, the little solo improv section. I'll put it at the end of this video, in the cards. And that was, a whole new side of Mizuta I haven't heard. This kind of jazz fusion thing. And man, I've heard the slower pages, this kind of dark stuff, and now that kind of jam, and now this, this more menacing kind of boss fight. But I will say, this is just a shot in the dark, though. It's just the way the song kind of felt to me. It didn't feel like a specific battle, and all I mean by that is that it felt like, but also not generic either. I feel like it might repeat for a couple of different fights. That's what it felt like. A kind of specialty battle song, but maybe, not as common as a common fight, I guess. That's pretty much it. So that was really, really nice. Really like the violins in that one. I have so many questions here, but the curiosity is like insane. This is going to be one of the few times I ever see footage of FF11. I've only seen the game move like once, I think, when I did the Christmas episode and I had to like find footage for it. So this might be the second time I ever see FF11 in action. That's exciting. And the last thing I'm going to say is the name, Distant Worlds. I guess that is where the concert name came from. Apparently, this is Nobuo Uematsu, by the way. Which, another pretty good composer. This is Distant Worlds. The Chains of Promethea. Isn't Prometheus a Greek thing? From the channel The Relay Sci-Fi. Screen is black. I'm going to be kind of watching this, I'm not going to lie. I need to get an idea of what's happening in this game. Oh, it sounds very like fairy tale, like that folk lute harp sound. Where have I heard that before? This is gorgeous, by the way. God, Nobuo Uematsu is so good. Master of melodies. Da, 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 da. What twisting fate has brought us towards the ransom. Is this Memorial del Stono? Oh, I just learned this on guitar the other day. Or not the other day, like a month ago or something. What song was that? Da, 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 da. Is it over already? Oh, that's such a gorgeous song. What is the song I just heard? This is gorgeous. Also, I love sunsets. Alright, we have to do some research. Kids? Oh, there's still more. Give me a minute. I'm snooping in my own channel. This was not too long ago, maybe a month ago? It had to have been a month ago. Hold on. Don't mind me. Damn, I put out a lot of videos. A month ago, I heard Recollection One Last Time and Tough Battle. Let me see if this is what I'm thinking of. Is it? Oh. Is it weird to have my own video in the background? I thought it sounded familiar. That was a month ago? Damn, time flies. That felt like a week ago or something. Dun, dun, dun. All right, and then I put on the overdrive here. You know how rare it is for me to pull out the guitar on this channel? That dumb little smile. Okay. Okay. Well, clearly, I'm a little lost. There is definitely... I think that is like the main motif of FF11, it seems like. But I don't know which is like the main song. So, if I recall correctly, I don't remember, I don't have the comments pulled up, but I'm pretty sure the comment said that was Memorial de Listono. But I think it also plays in Recollection and One Last Time, and now this, Distant Worlds. So this is a big song. That melody's huge, right? Enough to name the whole tour for years now. And it is a strong melody. Damn, dude, I just heard two amazing composers back to back. Now, we all know that Nobuo Uematsu is like kind of, give or take, the face of Final Fantasy music. But honestly, like, the other contributors have been so good, right? There's been, what was it, Hashimoto? Was that his last name? The Final Fantasy 12 guy? Naoshi Mizuta, Masashi Hamazu, Soken. Who am I forgetting? Yoko Shimomura, technically. Yeah. Did 15. There's other people. There's a handful of people on 11 as well. But basically what I'm saying is, like, they're all good. Oh yeah, and Yoshinori Nishiki from Octopath Traveler helped on, I don't know about Remake, but I definitely worked on Rebirth. But it's cool though. I think what I find very fascinating about Final Fantasy, and the reason why I've played some of the games, is because I've only played 3 games, right? Or 3 numbered games, 7, 8, and 9. And then I guess Crisis Core. Obviously the music was a big deal, and that was a huge factor. But also, I think what I find interesting is the history behind the series of Final Fantasy, and that's like generations, you know, like there's people now that could be grandparents that are getting their grandchildren into Final Fantasy, definitely parents, but you know, we probably are at the grandparent stage, maybe. And that's bizarre to think about, but it's also very, very real. And so I always think about like how the composers of 10 onwards to current date probably were inspired by Nobuo Uematsu, including Naoshi Mizuta. I don't know that for a fact, but I would have to assume so. So I think that's what I really admire about Final Fantasy music in general, is just where the sounds came from and then the inspiration from itself in the next composers, like the next generation of composers. That's really dope. And as you can see, the music was successful enough to have its own tour, which goes by this name. Oh, that reminds me. Izumi Masuda was the singer of that. I've never heard of that singer. At least I don't think so. So please inform me if I've heard a song with her in it. That was amazing, dude. That was so good. This game is really nice. Like it holds up graphically. It looks very much like a. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This might be a hot take, and it's not like I am a die on this hill kind of take. But I miss graphics like this. I miss when games look like video games. Like, yeah, it's cool to have like really high definition graphics, and very realistic stuff. That's fine, but not all the time. And that's why I see like some games that look like older games, like Sea of Stars and stuff like that, or like Pizza Tower. You know, like they have the aesthetic of looking like a video game. I like when video games look like video games. I play video games to get away from reality. I don't need to play reality. It kind of takes away some of the charm. It depends. For example, I'm not throwing any shade here at all. I'm not throwing anything under the bus. It's just an example. This game I've heard is really, really good, and it probably is really, really good. But Horizon, that's just an example that comes to mind. It looks like really lifelike, and I've only seen it like in screenshots and video, but I never like played it in front of me. I'm sure it looks great, but to me, it doesn't really like appeal too much, I guess. Again, not throwing it under the bus. It's probably a fantastic game. It's just an example visually that I'm talking about. But I'm not here to talk about that, really. It's just, I'm just saying I miss when games look like... I don't know. It could just be a bias that it reminds me of, you know, being a kid. And because when I was a kid, to me, this looked like what games look like now. So now when I'm 30 years old and I look back at, like, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, I'm like, damn, that game looks like Legos now. It looks so dated. But again, no shade against Horizon. I'm sure it's a fantastic game. I'm gonna wrap up by saying I'm very glad I discovered Final Fantasy XI, because to me it is definitely one of the least talked about ones, and I have become such an advocate for it. It's such a good soundtrack, and there's still so many songs I have to hear. And not only that, I don't know if you guys knew this, but my platinum member tier, like my highest tier of requests, I get the priority and it's pretty expensive and whatnot. Out of the whole time I've had the platinum tier open, my most consistent requesters for it have been Final Fantasy XI. I've had a lot of FF11 enthusiasts sign up, so I guess they're just as passionate to have others hear it, and that should tell you something. That's really cool, and I see why. I still listen to the Pioneers. I listen to the Sanctuary of Zata. I listen to this, even though I didn't know its name for a long time. I learned on guitar. What else? You know, just everything else I've heard. It's been so cool. There was the first song I heard too. I don't remember exactly the name of it, but I think it was Mushimeri that requested it. I'm wearing like a red jacket. That song was really cool. I could just look it up right now. What am I doing? I have a playlist, by the way, of Final Fantasy XI, which will be here at the end of this video too. The first Final Fantasy XI song I ever heard was, I think, Bustle of the Capital. January 17th, 2023. I've been listening for 2 years now. Yep, and I still remember that. Great soundtrack. Oh yeah, Gustenberg. Relude Gardens. Yep, it's all coming back to me now. Sick. Anyways, so yeah, tell me what's going on here in these songs, and what is Distant Worlds? You know, is if anyone happens to know the lore between the name of the song turning into the tour, or did they just pick it because it sounds cool? Because it sounds like the name of a tour. I always wondered why they called it Distant Worlds. Now I know. And I've been to one. Thank you, Pepita, for the request. Thank you to all the supporters you see on the screen. I cannot be here without them. Thanks you for watching. My name is Jesse. Peace.